Today we're sitting down with Richard Asperger, poet, artist, and now author of L.A. a la carte. Welcome, Richard.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your upcoming book, L.A. a la carte.
Oh, thank you. L.A. a la carte is it's a collection of poems that I wrote about 20 years ago, combined with photographs of homeless people's shopping carts.
Where did you get the idea for the book?
Basically, it came from my own experience from being homeless about 20 years ago.
Did you always have the vision for the collection of images and poems?
Not exactly, but no, not exactly.
What inspired you to use the shopping cart as your subject?
Well, something about shopping carts inspired me because I sense that there's, for lack of a better way to describe it, they're sadly beautiful. Something about it inspires me, almost like a good blues song.
What was it like being homeless?
Well, in a word, it was lonely. It was humiliating. I felt like the invisible man at times. And if somebody did see me, it was almost, they looked at me viewing me with disgust.
Were the poems in L.A. a la carte written during your homeless period?
Many of them were. Many of them were written in between periods. I had been homeless from on and off from 1982 until 1996. I'd have a few years where I had it together and a few years where I didn't have it together. And so they were written, some during the not together and some written during the together portion.
How did these writings survive?
Well, my sister saved the book, which is now L.A. a la carte, which was in a 3-ring binder. I had copied them from scraps of paper onto a 3-ring binder. Somehow my sister got a hold of that collection and she kept them. Several hundred other ones that I wrote are just lost, and I couldn't even imagine trying to remember any of them.
Would you say that the writings have been a form of escape for you?
Well, a form of escape, yes. Definitely a form of escape, but also a form of artistic expression and release.
How has your writing style evolved?
Well, I've gone from actually just writing short poems to writing, I'm in the process of writing 3 novels currently.
Do you think that it has changed you?
Well, it changed me in a sense that I was an insecure individual, and now I'm boldly going to the publisher and seeking global approval.
Tell us about the photographs that accompany the poems in L.A. a la carte. Do you know the people in the images?
No, I don't really know any of those people personally, but I know them on a different level. We experience the same pain and what goes along with it. One of the poems in the L.A. a la carte is called My Friend Despair, and I believe that it's a common friend that we share.
When were these pictures taken?
These pictures were taken over about a 4-year period here in the Van Nuys area. Van Nuys being, if you're not familiar with the area, Van Nuys being a suburb of Los Angeles.
Tell us about your transition out of homelessness. What was that like?
Well, I basically, like being Rip Van Winkle, it had been so long since I did anything normal for a long time that once I transitioned out of the homeless situation, to have a bed, to have a bathroom, a refrigerator, a daily shower, just the common comforts were unusual.
What sparked that transition?
You know, I had a moment of clarity, to be honest with you. I was a great blamer throughout life. I never took responsibility for my situation. And during a moment of clarity, it dawned on me that I was the one to blame. And make no mistake, I'm not saying that everybody that is homeless, I'm speaking solely for myself. I personally caused most of my pain and troubles.
If you could go back in time, would you change anything or do anything differently?
I would try not to hurt the people that love me. Unfortunately, all the stuff that I did to myself, you know, I learned from it, I grew from it, I created art from it. But the people that love me, they don't see it as an artistic expression. Unfortunately, I caused a lot of heartache, a lot of sleepless nights for my mom and my family. I wish I could undo that.
Well, what is it like for you to see homeless people today?
Well, it still makes me feel sad, and it also reminds me of where I came from. And in a very short period of time, my life got extremely good. And it reminds me of where I came from and keeps me humble and grounded.
If you could give one message to individuals struggling with homelessness, what would that be?
If I can climb out of the gutter, so can you. And don't give up. I mean, literally, I am no different than the guy out there. And my life is so much better. It would have been easier for me to build a ladder from here to the moon than to be the person I was to the person I am today.
What is your big picture vision for LA a la carte?
Well, my big picture vision for LA a la carte is that it becomes a socially accepted work of art. That would be great. But on a larger scale, I would like to think that it would also inspire other people and to doing something in their community.
How do you think it will impact the world?
Well, impact the world, that's a crazy thought. But I would like it to spark some sort of socially conscious movement in this growing homeless situation, needless situation. There's so much that can be done to solve this problem. I would like to think that on a global scale that people will become more aware and more compassionate to the homeless situation, not only in America but around the world.
Well, thank you very much, Richard. And thanks for being with us today and sharing your thoughts. And good luck with your new book, LA a la carte.
Thank you so much.